Money has always been a bit of an issue in Mayhem 3 because you cannot really spend it to buy ships, but you still need it to pay for ship upkeep. So just owning those ships here, I constantly have to pay for those, or they will take damage and eventually break down. And this always confused a lot of players, and they didn't really know how to make money because it was not very obvious. The most efficient strategy was to just plaster all these sectors very quickly with solar power plants and crystal factories, and then produce weapons and sell them to a trading station. And this was so effective because your outposts would get better at producing weapons. You would get crafting specialization, and then you would get more weapons for less resources. This would increase your profits. And you basically had to set up these profit schemes to make lots of money. And new players always expected that their sectors would pay for themselves, basically, and they would choose the tax perk and expect that they make lots of money for free. And this was never the case. And with 0 Hour 2.0, this will change. Because all sectors now generate tax income. This is now free. It doesn't require any perk anymore. And if I go into my outpost, you can see that it is already generating tax income. But there's a new mechanic associated to this called tax efficiency. It's currently sitting at 21%. And it's basically a representation about how efficient your bureaucracy is, how efficient the taxation is in your empire, how centralized the government is, how much corruption the sector has. All of that is basically combined into this tax efficiency rating, and it's currently growing. So it always has to level up, and how fast and how far it can level depends on your empire size, on the jump distance between your sectors, and the density of stations that you have in your empire. So if you just claim lots of sectors early on, then your tax efficiency will be very limited, very bad. But if you play a small empire, then it's much more viable to level up high tax efficiency. And once you have this high tax efficiency, it will stay very high even in the late game when your empire grows larger, and then it deteriorates again, but very slowly. So you still have those benefits. And this enables lots of new playstyles where you can just start out small and just milk those tax income, basically. And to go along with that, you now have to pay upkeep for your sectors, but only on hard difficulty. On easy or normal, it's just the tax income. So money is basically trivialized for those who play on easy and normal. You will just be swimming in money at some point, and it's no longer an issue of going broke. But on hard difficulty, you have this new sector upkeep mechanic. And if we go to the maintenance screen, you can see that each sector costs us 40,000 credits per hour. And at the current rate, we would actually go broke in 4 hours. But this will change because our sectors are currently still leveling up, and their tax income will rise, and eventually they will break even. But if we were to claim many more sectors now, then of course this calculation wouldn't add up and we would still go broke. So this is a new limitation to keep in mind. Jump beacons also cost money now, cost upkeep, and it's even more than the sector cost. So you are really expected to think carefully where to place them. And then you still have the tax perk, but it serves a different purpose now. So if we go to the perk list, you can see that the tax perk is now unavailable. And this is because it's now more of a late game thing. It gives you a minimum of 100% tax efficiency, which is not very high. So you can reach much higher levels naturally just by waiting, but only if you have a small empire. And once you grow larger, you have to depend on the traditional tax perk to generate tax income. And then most of your money will come from the sheer number of citizens that you have, because you have so many outposts. And to unlock the tax perk, you have to become a nation, because this gives you the legitimacy to collect taxes in the first place, basically. If you are not a nation, then the people are not very supportive and don't like to pay money to you, so your tax efficiency is very, very limited, and the tax perk is unavailable until you complete this quest, which is called A Place in the Sun. And to get this, you have to reach certain goals, either a certain territory size or money in the bank, certain amount of power of your navy, or stockpiles of ship resources in your outposts. And then this will eventually trigger. You will become a nation, and then your tax efficiency will improve dramatically. So one of the more interesting new goals during the early to mid game is how you want to become a nation. Because you could do it by just claiming many sectors, but that is, if you play on hard difficulty, that is very expensive now because of the sector upkeep. So this makes it much more attractive to try one of the other goals and, for example, save up lots of money or build a strong navy. And all of this is viable because the AI now also plays like if it would have to pay sector upkeep too. They are not actually using money, but they are sort of playing like if they would. So they are very hesitant now to claim those empty sectors here. And they will remain available for a very, very long time. So it is definitely possible now to stay small early on, level up your tax efficiency, become a nation, while still being small with just maybe 3 sectors or something, and then proceed into the late game and expand very, very far only later. So that's definitely possible, and it's no longer the only viable playstyle to just rush all sectors. And this makes it more interesting and varied.